Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 60 seconds.
Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on traffic. Traffic with my friend right here. That's what I say. The past St. Jack's to ending up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When your mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When it left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, Leon, bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I'm the...
First tonight, the cases of thousands of hit-and-run accidents going nowhere.
KHOU 11 investigates discovered Houston police rarely make arrests, even when someone is seriously hurt and even when there are workable leads. Jeremy Rogowski dug through years of data to expose a trend that can be frustrating to victims.
A knee scar here.
10 surgeries.
Of a skin graft here.
And forever scarred.
Going all the way up the side.
Jared Meyer is lucky to be alive.
They left me to die. I would not have survived had there not been another person on the highway that saw and called 911 immediately.
A good Samaritan.
Mm-hmm. I would have been dead.
The hit and run on Highway 290 left Meyer's motorcycle like this and left him in a hospital bed. 9 days later,
calling back to your motorcycle accident case.
A Houston cop called to see if he had any leads.
I was unconscious at the time, so my dad got the voicemail and he called them back to no avail, waited a couple days, called them back again, and we haven't heard anything since.
Nothing.
Not a peep.
3 days later, records show HPD closed the case.
There was a lead here.
A very obvious lead, yeah.
How obvious? The hit-and-run driver left their car at the scene. Police knew the make and model, the license plate, and the VIN.
Go knock on their door and say, hey, your car was found here. Where were you? Who was possibly driving it? You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to put that one together.
Turns out Meyer's hit and run is one of thousands assigned to a vehicular crimes officer that went nowhere. We analyzed some 33,000 reports over 3+ years and found less than 500 arrests. That's about 1.5%. Around 20,000 of those were assigned to just 3 officers who together produced only 4 arrests. We asked to interview Chief Noe Diaz about that. He declined.
There's absolutely no way they can all get investigated.
But the police union is talking. Ray Hunt says the vehicular crimes unit, with only 16 detectives, is extremely short-staffed.
You just can't do it unless we have the bodies in here to actually do the work.
Thousands of hit and runs were listed as full plate and able to ID suspect. We pulled some of those reports and found things like incident was caught on surveillance cameras and complainant captured picture of suspect and wants to prosecute.
Those are workable leads. And the records show these cases are going nowhere.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to go nowhere when you have 16 detectives working this.
As for the case of Jared Meyer, whose life will never be the same.
If this person had passed away, yes, there probably would be more time put into this case.
So you have to be dead for these to work out?
No, you have to triage your cases to see what are the most egregious cases for my 16 detectives to work.
So we did some basic detective work in Meyer's case.
We're following up on the accident.
The other vehicle's owner told us her daughter drives the car. And when we asked,
did police ever contact you?
The answer was no.
It's like, where's the justice? Like, isn't that your whole job, is to serve and protect? And I don't feel very served nor protected.
Now, an HPD spokesperson tells me that Myers hit and run was assigned to what's called a case management officer, whose job is to vet incoming reports and then possibly forward them on to an actual detective. However, there's no record of that ever happening in this young man's case. Back to you.
Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I'm your host, Fearless Floyd, and there is a lag in the StreamYard, as you see. So I'm going to reset it. I'll be right back. And there you go. Fixed. Voila. Maybe I should be a audio or video technician, huh? Oh, I am. All right. If you didn't hear me, hey, welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. Obviously, we have a crime problem here in Houston, Texas. You got to hear my friend, Ray Hunt, tell you exactly like it is. Ray, God bless you for being honest and truthful with the world. How often do you see a cop tell you the truth? Well, there you go. Ray laid it out. That was the first time I've actually watched that video. I went and searched for it. I'd seen other videos, which I'm going to show you, and we're going to go through this whole laundry list of what's going on in Houston, Texas. Now, we cannot lay the blame on the current chief, Noe Garcia, chief of police of Houston Police Department. We can't put it on the current mayor. He's been in there for a minute now. Former state senator, longtime state senator, my high school rival. He's a Walter Bram. I'm a Scarborough Spartan. And I like to pick on John when I can. He's also the former chair of the Criminal Justice Committee for the Texas Senate, which means I wrote him a lot. So I thought it was real funny when Juan, I took a picture with him the other night, and I was supposed to go to that event, but I didn't. So anyway, but they have to take some type of responsibility. Now, does this fall also on Houston City Council? I think it's a systemic problem, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed. The police academy, Houston Police Academy, just graduated like 50. Don't hold me to this number, 50 something. I want to say 54 off the top of my head, but no more than that. New cadets. Now, the Houston police force has always been understaffed. We're the fourth largest city in the country, yet our police force is dwarfed. On comparison, okay, and I'm going back to numbers from like 9/11 numbers, okay. New York City had, and of course their population's, way larger than ours, but they had like almost 60,000 police officers. That was just police. Yeah, in that big city. So Houston at that time had about 5,500. So obviously, there's a lot of work, and it sounds like it doesn't even have to be, I need to put on a gun and a badge, go pound the streets, knock on doors, and, find some criminals. It sounds like it's more investigatory work where, hey, okay, I found the suspect. Let me call here for backup and get some patrolmen to come pick them up. That's one way. I don't know what the machinations are. I'm going to have to reach out to my buddy Ray and take him to lunch and say, did you know I got this show on social media, Ray? And I talk about you often because this is where I grew up. This is the city where I grew up, and it's a freaking cesspool. I'm going to go through that. And, they call it the Bayou City, and I call it a cesspool. What does that really tell you about the city itself? But It does have some beautiful waterways that you can kayak and canoe down, and they're trying to bring it back, but it is what it is. It's too much crime. So I had everything preloaded, and it looks like when I preload a bunch of files, image files, for some reason it just eats everything up, and that just stops everything. So I have to go reload everything. So that's what I'm doing right now. Give me 1 second. There you go. That one. And this Sunday at 8 p.m. Yeah, that's who's coming on the show. I know. Won't that be an interesting show? And oh yeah, now I know where I need to go. And his Miss Prolific herself. She has 4 books. I didn't have a chance to get the third or the fourth one on here. I just did 3 because they were pretty much just copy, paste, shrink, and move. So there you go. Run Your Trust Like a Pro, Revocable Living Trust. She also did a Irrevocable Living Trust book and the Dynasty Trust. These books are $49.99 in the Fearless Floyd Show store. They are brand new. There is an added bonus. You know, for all my faults and insecurities and, you know, sometimes all the other bullshit, I am a very generous guy. So we sold some merch, and while I was fulfilling those orders, I was like, you know, I should do this for them. And I did. So with every book that you purchase, and I call this Anne's Solo series because it's a solo trust. It's everything that you need to operate that particular type of trust, which basically she did is she's taking the big books and breaking them down into solo books, individual books per trust. So there you go. You get an added bonus, a big time bonus. So if you want to pick up the book, there you go. And you'll find out what the bonus is. So I always take care of my people, always take care of my customers. You never hear anybody complain about my customer service. That's why I tell y'all, y'all can always call me 9 to 9 Central Standard Time, preferably Monday through Friday. And I generally answer the phone. I take care of business. I'm a one-man show. So thank you for spending your time here with me. Let's dive back into this issue here in Houston, Texas. Now, if you've watched my show often, then you will know I've already covered this. Oh, that's not the one I want. Hang on. That's not the one I want. That's the one I want. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Let me get my ugly mug out of the way. There you go. When John Whitmire became mayor, unbeknownst to him during the Sylvester Turner administration and former police chief Troy Finner, due to lack of personnel, all right, due to lack of personnel, 264,000 and change police reports. And this is everything from sexual assaults to you name it, right? If there wasn't an officer available to take the report and investigate it, it got a certain code. That code was just put over in this little file, and it was the end of it. until the new administration came in and we're like, ooh, what's this? Holy crap. So once it was discovered, they said that they would go in and investigate those 264,000 cases. Obviously, they do not have the manpower to investigate these cases. And those were swept under the rug. Absolutely. So again, the Houston Police Officers Union, Ray is the executive director. So a lot of times you'll hear from the president. And I'll just cover the very beginning of this. The Houston Police Officers Union is reacting to the new information that 10% of reports filed in the last 8 years have been left uninvestigated because of the lack of personnel and coding issues. Houston Police Officers Union First Vice President Ken Neely said, through all of this, the union's focus is on the men and women of the police force now facing a mountain of work. And I'm quoting, "We're not in a position to say who ultimately needs to be held responsible for this," close quote, Neely said. So I'm not going to get into the rest of it because this is basically history. I just wanted to give you an update on it. And we'll click over here to the original. So you can see it here. This is published February of 2024. So this is, it's getting close to 2 years since this happened. And
lack of personnel. More than 260,000 cases and victims let down because there wasn't enough manpower to go around. The Houston Police Officers Union is reacting to this new information. Liliana Pearson's live outside police headquarters. And Liliana, they say they're not willing to play the blame game on whose fault this is.
That's right. When I spoke to the union today, I talked to them about the fact that when this all first started going on, Chief Finner wasn't chief yet, but he is the man in charge now. So is he going to be held responsible for this, or is the responsibility going to be spread out among other police leaders and higher ups? And the union told me it's not their place to decide, but we did hear from other city leaders today who seem to feel more comfortable pointing fingers. Houston Police Union First Vice President Ken Neely says through all of this, the union's focus is on the men and women in the police force now facing a mountain of work.
We're not in position to say who ultimately needs to be held responsible for this.
And while names were not dropped, a statement from Mayor Pro Tem Amy Peck says patrol officers and specialized units worked tirelessly and that their work is being undermined by leadership who authorized the suspension code.
She's entitled to her opinion. And again, the stance for the Houston Police Officers Union, our concern is for our officers and investigators that will be assigned to investigate these cases.
Neely says to his understanding, the code could only be applied to reports by investigators and investigative supervisors. He says a lack of personnel is the unfortunate reality for many police departments across the country. He also acknowledges the new workload these 264,000 cases place on officers.
And unfortunately, this is just the case that we just don't have enough people. We would love to have more people help investigators.
We asked Neely, while investigators got a lot of work out of this, what would he say to the victims who feel forgotten and betrayed through this process? This was his response.
The men and women of the Houston Police Department put safety of the utmost priority for the citizens that we took an oath to provide safety and security for. All the cases, although unfortunately some have been overlooked, I can pretty much assure you that we will do everything possible to investigate those thoroughly.
Neely also tells me through a strong relationship with the mayor and city council that an additional 5 police academy classes has been allocated to the police force this year. He says that alone should be a really big help to help with the personnel issue.
There you go, 264,000 cases. So, did they fix the problem? Let's dive into that one. Experts and conversations among department supervisors have raised serious questions about how comprehensively the city has dealt with the issue. So let's go to the original. And this is July 7th, 2025. Matt DeGurud, a reporter with the Houston Chronicle. This is the new chief, Whitmire. And, oh, that's why I had that. There you go. That makes sense. All right. This is the cadet class 53. So in August 2024, Mayor Whitmire proclaimed the city's readiness to move on from a scandal where those 264,000 cases went uninvestigated. So now we even know that these hit and runs, even though somebody left their car there, that just wasn't enough evidence for an investigation, which makes absolutely no reasonable sense in any shape, form, or fashion. So I don't understand that. But anyway, this goes on and on and on. So I really don't want to dive into this. I want to make this a little quick video, to be honest with you. And we have this other thing that's happening. There we go. Ah, looks like they may have fixed that. This is KHOU 11 News. This is our CBS affiliate here in Houston, Texas. 53 bodies have been found in Houston Bayou since 2023. Here's a look at how those people died. The manner of death in nearly half of the cases is still undetermined. Only 3 of the cases have been determined to be homicides.
With so many rumors swirling about the bodies found in the bayous, KHOU 11 Investigates is taking a closer look. Our team went back 3 years and analyzed the cause and manner of death for each body found. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski joins us now with what he learned. Jeremy.
Mia, our data comes from the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences, the medical examiner's office, which reports an increase over the past 3 years. In 2023, it examined 9 bodies in Houston bayous, 20 bodies in 2024, and so far this year, 24 bodies. Now, here's a breakdown for those 3 years. The manner of death in 23 cases is undetermined, meaning it's not possible to establish circumstances of death with reasonable medical certainty. The medical examiner ruled 15 deaths an accident, with 13 of those accident by drownings. 9 cases are pending, 3 suicide, and 3 cases were ruled a homicide. Now, we looked a little further into those homicide cases and learned Houston police made arrests in 2 of them. The 3rd case is still under investigation, Mia.
Now, Jeremy, I know there's still a lot of questions surrounding U of H student Jade McKissick, whose body was found in Brays Bayou last month. What's the latest with that case?
Yeah, the manner of death in that case is still pending. There's needing to be more information and further testing before the investigation can be completed.
Jeremy, appreciate the deep dive. Thank you.
Sure.
$53 bodies, which is a good segue into my buddy Juan, who did the Chicano Squad movie called The Squad, which was based on the Houston Police Department creating a Spanish-speaking squad of detectives to go out to the Latino community to communicate with them instead of sending some black and white officers who just culturally didn't blend and couldn't get information. So I know, really good. So I'm definitely going to have to get with Ray. I know I'm a small fry, but you know, hey, Ray may bless my game. But there you have it. So that's what's going on here in Houston, Texas. You know, the only thing that we don't have here that I see going on in these other cities, and that's why I believe Greg Abbott called the National Guard to attend these. Why are they protesting the Sacramento Kings anyway? What's up with that? I don't know. Really? Basketball team in Sacramento? They suck. Why would you be protesting them? They want to move or something? Anyway, but that protest is supposed to be happening. And so they sent the National Guard to keep those ruffians in line so they don't get out of hand like they're out of hand in these other blue cities like Portland and Chicago and apparently up there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where, hey, to throw a brick through a cop car's window is like, like nothing. That happens all the time. What? So yeah, it's a crazy, whacked out world. But you know, just based on what we're seeing right now, you know, if something did happen, you know, maybe had some insurrectional type of activity, a little really real civil unrest, and you know, maybe it's a little uncivil if you follow my drift without following my drift. How Houston could be just like, I mean, this place could catch fire quick. Because, you know, if I'm a cop, really, if I'm a cop in Houston, doesn't matter what agency I'm with, whether I'm a constable, a sheriff, police officer, Metro Police, whatever. You know you're outnumbered. You know those fools are armed to the teeth. You know they're entrenched. So first thing you're going to do, if something jumps off in your city, you're going to go protect your family, right? That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to go protect and then serve. So I don't blame you for that. I would probably do the same thing myself. I don't know. I'd have to cross that bridge when I got to it. But, you know, it is what it is. I just see a total failure, systemic failure. I still see a systemic failure. I see the city of Houston as a failed city. It's bankrupt. I'm sorry, John, bro, but you and city council, y'all just ain't making it. This city's just, you know, this should be the most awesomest city in Texas, if not the United States. Square business. It used to be. Not anymore. They've just let it deteriorate. And that's what happens when you have a Democratic run city. There's no fiscal responsibility, no conservative values. I mean, John Whitmire, he's trying to get around how he can still display rainbow whatevers on city property because Abbott demanded that all the rainbow crosswalks be removed from city streets. That's Austin as well and Houston, or they're going to lose funding. Or was that Trump? But anyway, doesn't matter. So, you know, he's trying to look for an alternative. Really? You have to appease that market? Don't you think they're appeased enough? I mean, seriously, I don't have anything against gays. I don't care what you want to do behind closed doors. Just don't teach it to our children and don't groom them to do what you freakish want to do behind closed doors. Okay? That's between you and another adult. So knock yourselves out. I ain't got no problem with it at all. At all. I think everybody should be happy for whatever you do, however you want to do it. Yeah, just don't hurt people. That's all. So Houston's it's a failed city. We have a failed administration, you know, and I'm sorry, John. I'm just going to talk real to you. And I agree with Ray 100%. And I think that, you know, they should immediately figure out how to solve this issue. I can't imagine how many sexual assault, rape kits, DNA that they have that's untested. They don't have enough people to process it. Obviously, they don't have enough cops. I know they're supposed to be building a new building for HPD downtown. I know that. So hopefully they, find some money to hire some more law enforcement officers. I don't know what they're going to do. I guarantee you, by now, we have cops whose grandparents were illegal aliens. Yeah, they're birthright citizens. Absolutely. So it's going to be really, really, really strange how all this works out. So Houston's a failed city. Again, this Sunday night at 8, Juan was going to join us, but he didn't. And he's in San Antonio. Juan, he's partying with, who's that guy? Dallas Stars party with owner Tom Gagliardi. So that's where he's at. I guess that's a Deadpool character. That's pretty crazy. That's Juan. So that's where he's at. But we were supposed to do the interview Sunday night. Me, Juan, and Selwyn here. Let me get him up here. There you go. But I didn't know Juan was going out of town. He went for another event. So I don't know what all he's doing. But we talked about this, Juan and I, having Selwyn on the show. As Selwyn and I are friends on Facebook. We have a lot of similar interests and challenges. So I reached out to him, and I actually got to talk to him for, I guess we talked about 45 minutes today. And great conversation. Great man. Very humble. I was, he could be a lot of things, but I'm going to let him come on and do his thing and let him tell you his story his way without really, ruining it for everybody. So, yeah, I found him genuine. Sounds like he has a good heart and in the right direction. So, I don't know how much I'm going to prod into the whole George Floyd part of it. I don't know how much he's willing to share with that. So this is both of us. I mean, we didn't even talk about George Floyd. That's it. We didn't even talk about George Floyd. We didn't even really talk about the actual incident in Minneapolis. We just kind of glazed over it because we were, just having a mutual conversation to get to know each other, basically. So that's what we did. I'm really thrilled to have him on the show. I don't know why he's, not more well known. He does not live in Houston. He's not from Houston, but all the family lives in Houston. He lives in another state. If he wants to tell you that, he's more than welcome to tell you that. I'm going to enjoy talking to him. I'm going to have a really good conversation. I don't know which direction the conversation is going to go. If we're just going to focus on George Floyd, we're going to focus on the Minneapolis incident. We're going to focus on the after effects. We're going to focus on his goals, his future, his path to what he is fighting for. And he's actually fighting for everybody. So we're going to talk about that. And in our conversation, he asked me if I knew who a person was on an incident with law enforcement in, I think he said Arkansas. And I hear so many stories, read so many stories that it's hard for me to keep them all, what's what, without hearing the backstory or context. So I said, yeah, I may or may not. And then when I was looking for his photograph to put on this thumbnail that you see before you, I was looking at all his pictures, and then I saw a thumbnail of the incident that he was talking about, and I instantly knew what he was talking about then. So we'll probably talk about that as well, and some other incidents. I don't, like I said, I have no idea where the conversation is going to go. We're just going to go wherever divinity takes it. That's all I can tell you. I don't have a plan. Never have a plan. I was thinking about doing a video showing you guys how to put together a brief. And as I go through my individual issues for my habeas, I was going to kind of, breeze through them to you guys without getting, too technical and blowing right by you. And just, leaving you in the dust, starting talking all the legal mumbo jumbo, and you're like thumbing through your Black's Law trying to keep up. Right? What did he say? I think it was Latin. Maybe it was dog Latin. So, yeah. If you would like to do that, leave a comment below or hit me up, send me a text or whatever. And, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and do it behind the scenes and not document it, which is no big deal. I can do it either way. But I'm going through thousands of pages. This is ridiculous. When I tell you guys don't muddy up your record, I mean that. Some of these files, they're digital files, but they're sending me, and they got scanned. See, like right there, it says scanned. Well, they scanned them at different times, several batches, and I got them on CD-ROM, so I have to look through them, and they're not really labeled. They're like they should be. Some of the contents are redundant, but for the most part, it's going through there. Now I'm going through and creating the exhibits list, giving all the exhibits a number, assigning them to where they would go in the actual brief, because first part of the brief is complete, I think. I think I got it complete. And ground one's complete. Ground two's complete. Ground three is almost complete. And I believe there's 8 total, 8 or 9 grounds. And I'm going to go through each one, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Just like an ineffective assistance of counsel case. Bad Wolf brought this up, and he used the actual phrase ineffective assistance of counsel, but he was applying it in a non-criminal proceeding, and that's malpractice. That's legal malpractice. That's not ineffective assistance of counsel. Ineffective assistance of counsel is a specific term applied in a criminal setting, because your counsel can never be ineffective in a civil trial, never ineffective in probate or family, or even bankruptcy. It has to be criminal. That's the only time they can be ineffective. And it's held by 2 separate standards on the federal level. That's Strickland versus Washington and U.S. versus Chronic. And Chronic is spelled C-R-O-N-I-C. So those are the 2. And then states like Texas, they've adopted the Strickland standard through Hernandez versus State. So your state may be the same way. But that's just one of the errors. I have prosecutorial misconduct, judicial misconduct, ineffective assistance of counsel, 2 jurisdictional defects. One's on the savings clause. The other is they did not allege and prove to the jury beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of the offense of a third-degree felony. Cumulative error. I've got them somewhere. These don't have page numbers on this one. There we go. Yeah, there's 8. 2 jurisdictional defects, which I said the state had what's called I didn't mean this for be illegal, of course, and what's called an ex parte proceeding. Ex parte proceeding is when only one party of the 2 competing parties, okay, like me against the state, or the plaintiff versus the defendant, all right, petitioner, respondent, exactly. if I had just an interacting with the court, just me in the court, and I left the other party out, they don't even know about it. Or if they did, they didn't attend, or we didn't give them enough time to attend because me in the court, we're doing what we're not supposed to do, and that's called an ex parte hearing. That's a no-no in criminal trials. So they filed on the 14th of March, they filed the motion to amend the indictment. They sent it to my attorney. How they sent it, whether it's email or U.S. mail, I have no idea. But sometime between the 15th and the 20th, like in 6 days, they held this ex parte hearing. Okay, you can't file a motion and then not give the other party 15 days an opportunity to cure and contest, right? Pretty much what it is. But either to attend or, file a rebuttal or, right, whatever. But yeah, so they had this hearing. They amended the indictment. So when they did that, they had the ex parte hearing and they went and defaced the face of the grand jury indictment illegally. Guess what ceased to exist? Jurisdiction. And everything's void. Just law. So next one's ineffective assistance of counsel, prosecutorial misconduct, judicial misconduct. Oh yeah, false testimony and fabricated evidence. Again, we have somebody defacing a governmental record. Really? Oh, tampering with or fabricating physical evidence. That's a crime in Texas. You shouldn't have written on that document. But guess what? That cop passed away. He's not here to defend himself. Oh, and the arresting officer, they terminated him. My trial counsel, disbarred. Presiding judge, voted out of office. Well, I can't wait to go back. Absolutely. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Putting all that together, I'm going to have to figure out what's what, because now I'm all confused. So if you want to join me on that journey with this thing, this monstrosity that I created, because it's a monster, I don't even want to print it all out because I would probably go through all my toner and probably, that would be 6 reams of paper. I have it. Then I have to put it all together. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. I just need to go find the actual instruments that are going to be applicable to my arguments and authorities. And I'm just going to print those. And I swear to their authenticity. That's how I'm going to roll with that one. So there are shortcuts you can use, and a lot of that I didn't have at the time. All I had was this learning curve that I had to. Yeah, it was an adventure. Wouldn't change a day of it. For all the bullshit they put me through, wouldn't change a day of it. I don't know. Isn't that crazy? People always tell me, oh my God, you're not all fucked up about doing 14 years? No. No. When you're sitting in a prison cell and you lean back and go, damn. You look at your watch, I don't have enough time in my day to do everything I need to do today. Fuck. And how does somebody doing time say that? And I used to just man, this is the most oddball statement, dude. I'm doing 60 fucking years and I don't have enough time in my day to do everything I need to do in prison. That's how I learned. That's how I got educated. When they say practice makes perfect, oh God, boy, did I practice. Oh yeah, I did what lawyers do, don't they? Don't they practice? Of course they do. Of course they do. Ann's new books. Let me pop those up for you. These are 40. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. These are $50, $49.99. Run your trust like a pro. Revocable living trust and also irrevocable living trust, and it's just not up here. And then, of course, the Dynasty Trust, and you get a free bonus added to your purchase just for these 4 books. I know you only see 3, but there's 4 of them. Just go to the fearlessfloydshow.com store and pick you one up. Get you added bonus if you want. If not, that's fine too. If you do not have a trust, folks, go get you a trust, please. Okay? If you don't know anything about trust, start to learn. Ann and I did a 20-part series. It's quite lengthy. It does take a lot of time. Some videos are 15 minutes, some are 40, some maybe an hour. I don't know. They're all edited. They're all different time lengths. But go get you a trust. Go protect yourself because there's some uncertain times coming. I mean, you see what's happening. Crypto's taking a dive. Precious metals are going through the roof. Stock market's unstable. Banks are unstable. Stock market's unstable. Could be in war with Venezuela. Could go in there and do a coup d'etat. And then, of course, their currency is going to revalue. It has to. Why would the country that has all the oil, 303 billion barrels, why would they have some of the lowest valued currency in the world? Probably not. So if you get a chance to pick up a brick for, peanuts, I'm kidding. Who would trade a peanuts for a brick, right? You can't eat a brick. I know. It's a tough crowd. It's a tough world. Tell me it's a jungle out there. Lions are king of the jungle. Are they related to liars? What do you think? What do you think, puppy dog? Liars, lions, they related? Huh? Like dogs and wolves? No? You puzzled? Did I confuse you? She's confused. So, as well. Again, you heard it from the executive director of the Houston Police Officers Union, Ray Hunt. There's not enough personnel in the Houston Police Department to investigate every police report filed. I wonder what that told the other side. If you're in Houston, Texas, and the surrounding cities, counties, suburbs, etc., keep your eyes open. God bless you. Be careful Halloween. Be careful at large events. I'm just telling you. And I'll see you Sunday if I don't see you sooner. There was another video that I wanted to do, and I can't remember what I was going to do. I got my book to write it down, and I got distracted or something happened, and I forgot. So it'll pop back in my head, and when it does, I'll do it. So if you still want me to do something, teach you about briefs, or, I'm even willing to teach people how to write civil RICOs. I need to go over Travis County and pop up the last one I did because it was very streamlined. Very easy to follow. I'll see if tomorrow Saturday. I have to wait till Monday. I don't know. I'll see if I can go scrape it off their portal. I've actually been to their new building in Austin, up there into the archives. And I've looked at all my cases. I was showing somebody else all the insanity that I had going on in Travis County. Even though I was in Walker County and fell out of Harris County. I was an active little booger in all jurisdictions in Texas. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it for you spending your time. Hope you got educated. If you have friends or relatives in Houston, you're not in Houston, send them this video. Let them know what the hell's going on. Some self-protection here in a little while. You never know what's going to go on anywhere. I mean, how much National Guard can go around before there's just not enough National Guard to complement the law enforcement officers? So, and I get it. They're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. One bad apple makes the whole bunch look guilty of sin. And, it is what it is. So, at least we can have a conversation with Ray, an honest one, sounds like. So I look forward to that. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night, good weekend if I don't talk to you about something else anytime soon. And outro's coming up. You know what that's all about. Appreciate you being here, of course. Juan C. Vasquez with Take the Day Off.
I come through with the style that's always revealing, from the block like the TikTok don't stop. I was at shorty, she was non-stop. I had the hot pot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level, I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Cold do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on traffic. Traffic with my saying right here. That's what I say. The best St. Jack's ain't up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off the welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When it left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me.